Welcome to this explainer, where we are going full multiversal detective today. The overwhelmingly hyped trailer for Avengers Doomsday is finally here, and wow, it is absolutely packed with universe-colliding stakes. But, beyond all the flashy explosions and that massive roster of returning heroes, there are some incredibly subtle clues hiding right in plain sight. So in this explainer, we're going to uncover 8 massive hidden details from the trailer that you most likely missed. And trust me, these details completely reshape what we thought we knew about this movie. Just to put into perspective how truly monumental this cinematic event is, think about this staggering number for a second. The first 4 mini-teasers alone generated 1.02 billion views in just 3 days. Honestly, that is unprecedented. It absolutely proves that the return of Robert Downey Jr., this time as the villainous Doctor Doom, alongside Chris Evans as Captain America, has shattered all expectations. The entire film industry is practically organizing itself around this one release. But hey, with a billion eyes watching, it is so easy to get lost in this spectacle. So to cut through the absolute visual overload of these colliding universes, we're going to zoom in on 8 microscopic background details. These aren't just your standard fun Easter eggs either. These visually tell the story of Doctor Doom's macro plot. Let's start breaking them down. Section 1, the colliding worlds. Heroes, mutants, and clashes. Let's kick things off with our first hidden detail, which is the highly specific roster of heroes battling it out at the dilapidated X mansion on Earth 1005. You can actually see Professor X nervously watching an energy rift outside his window. But notice exactly who is fighting who here. We've got Shang-Chi battling Channing Tatum's Gambit, Mystique shape-shifting to fight Yelena Belova, Cyclops is on his knees unleashing optic blasts, while Sam Wilson and Reed Richards actively enter the fray. So what's the crucial takeaway? Well, the X-Men have absolutely no interest in allying with Earth 616's Avengers. They are actively at war with each other. For our second detail, we need to look really closely at this super tense diplomatic meeting between the Wakandans, including Shuri and M'Baku, and Namor's people, the Telekineal. At first glance, you'd think they're standing in a dusty desert, right? But if you focus on the background right behind Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, that is not the sky. That is a massive wall of water. Sue Storm is actually using extreme discipline and focus to hold back the walls of the ocean. This desert is literally the ocean floor. Whether that ocean was drained by an incursion or pruned by Doctor Doom, this detail shows just how insanely powerful Sue is, and it explains why Namor has finally been forced to the negotiation table. Moving on to Section 2, the Gathering and New Alliances. Which brings us to detail number 3, the confirmed roster inside the newly completed New Avengers Tower. We clearly see Thor stepping up to unite these splintered teams. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of the crossover, because Thor actually arrives with the Fantastic Four, strongly suggesting he ventured out into the multiverse himself to recruit them. They're standing right alongside Sam Wilson's Avengers division, which includes Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, plus Bucky Barnes and the Thunderbolts. Thor is desperately trying to rally all these warriors against an impossible enemy. But to truly understand the multiversal threat they're facing, we kind of have to pivot to the mechanics of time travel. We need to ask a massive question. How on earth did a retired, aged-up Steve Rogers suddenly reappear in this war, looking exactly like his younger, bearded self?
That leads us right into Section 3, the God of Stories influence, the TVA, and time travel.
Detail 4 is literally a blink-and-you-miss-it shot of a Time Variance Authority pass. But hang on, this isn't your standard TVA card. Notice how the back is distinctly etched with the Yggdrasil tree? That directly connects back to the end of Loki Season 2, cementing Loki's new role as the God of Stories, who is literally holding the multiverse together. So someone is clearly using a get-out-of-the-multiverse free card provided by Loki's new regime. And that actually builds right into detail 5. Look really closely at the ring finger of the hand holding that pass. There is a very distinct wedding band. Based on the clues we got in the earlier teasers, this strongly implies that the hand belongs to Steve Rogers. He's been pulled from his branch timeline, the one where he retired to marry Peggy Carter, to help fix this entire multiversal mess. This points to an absolutely mind-blowing theory about timeline mechanics. Step 1. Steve's selfish, albeit romantic, decision to stay in the past with Peggy creates a branching timeline. Step 2. That very action might have actually been the catalyst for the environmental collapse and the incursions that are currently forcing these worlds together. And Step 3. The TVA is now forced to transport vital heroes to the Void to fight for their survival. Basically, Steve's happy ending might actually be the root cause of Doomsday. Crazy, right? Section 4. Doom's Grand Design. A godlike threat.
For details 6, check out this incredible visual parallel. On one side, we have the circular window from He Who Remains Citadel, which perfectly represents the looping sacred timeline. But on the other side, we have the reflection in the countdown clock window pane from this new trailer. The architecture is completely identical, but the window panes are vertical, and they're reflecting Loki's green Yggdrasil tree right outside. This is huge. It proves Doom has actively taken over the Citadel at the end of time. He's usurped the TVA, and is just watching all of our heroes battle it out from above, exactly like a god. Now, detail 7 is actually audio-based. If you listen closely to Doom's voiceover in the trailer, which, by the way, is delivered in this chilling Latverian accent that sounds absolutely nothing like Tony Stark, you'll realize what he's actually saying. He says, "Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision." Guys, this is not your standard mustache-twirling villainous threat. It's a desperate warning about the incursions. All right, Section 5, an unthinkable decision and the ultimate showdown. Because, you see, Doom honestly doesn't think he's the bad guy here. He firmly believes that creating a patchwork battle world is the one and only way to save reality. And Thor realizes this terrifying mindset instantly. He delivers this desperate plea saying, "We are going to need a miracle," right before leading the surviving heroes into the final battle in the ruins shown during the trailer's climax. Thor knows for a fact that raw strength just isn't going to cut it this time. And that brings us to our final hidden detail, Detail 8. Which completely redefines the power scales here. First, we witness the sheer humiliation of Thor. He swings Stormbreaker, the literal weapon that nearly killed Thanos, mind you, and Dr. Doom just casually stops it with 2 fingers. It's an impossible feat of science and magic. But to counter that godlike power, we get the miracle Thor asked for. A bearded Steve Rogers steps right onto the battlefield and seamlessly catches Mjolnir once again, answering the call. The ultimate showdown is officially set. So as that countdown clock ticks and the multiversal incursions physically collide, we are left with one massive final thought to ponder. Will Dr. Doom become the godlike savior of a broken multiverse, or its ultimate destroyer? Are the Avengers trying to stop Doomsday, or in a twisted reality where everything is collapsing around them, is Doomsday the only thing that can actually save them? Keep your eyes peeled because there is so much more hiding in the shadows of this footage. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember to always keep questioning what you see.